am. Thanks for telling me that, Ashley. Sometimes I tell Ashley she's my brain. Sometimes I wouldn't know where my head is if she didn't tell me. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Good to see you. Happy Sunday. Have you all been having a good weekend? Celebrating those of you who have been here every single day for this incredible workshop, the 2 days or the 5 days through Friday, and then the 2 bonus days yesterday and today. Celebrating our newest singers who are joining us in our intensive, who've just enrolled this weekend, Jasmine Ryan and Ali David. Super excited for you guys. They are going to start this journey, and celebrating those of you who I am very excited to speak to this coming week, who have calls coming up with me to just get some clarity on the program and if it's right for you guys. Welcome to our final day and our final bonus session, the biggest hurdle and how to get over it. And I know that especially those of you who are so committed and so accountable to be here every day. I mean, I'm looking at this. I see Nunzio's been here every day. I see Coral has been here, I think, every day. Diana, Chris, I'm looking at these names. If I'm missing you guys, it's only because I'm blazing through these things really fast. Leanne and oh my gosh, so many names that I see here that I am so not just like honored that you're giving time to listen to me for a week and on a Saturday and on a Sunday, but also really honoring you for your commitment to your growth, to take time out of your busy schedules to be here, to learn something, to expand, to grow. So that's why I wanted to have this bonus session be dedicated to the biggest hurdle, because we can all have the best intentions in the world and we can all be doing lots of things. But when there's a hurdle, oftentimes that blocks us, and we don't often see it because we don't even realize it. We don't even know that it's a hurdle. And so for me, I was like, I can't let this workshop end without giving you this last piece. And so to me, after 25 years of working with singers, being a professional singer myself, saving singers' voices and careers, the biggest hurdle that I have come to notice that stops singers from singing the way that they want, getting the opportunities they want, is not actually an external struggle that you are fighting outside yourself. It's not a hurdle that you would think like it's not money, it's not time, it's not poor training, it's not living in a part of the country where there isn't a whole lot of opportunity, it's not a technique thing or any of others of these external struggles. It's actually an internal struggle, which means that you can affect it, you can change it. And so that's what I want to talk about today. You can affect it and change it starting today. So let's unravel this, okay? So we're gonna train first. I will answer questions after. Let's just go dive right in. So the biggest hurdle is fixed mindset. Fixed mindset instead of growth mindset. So most of you are acting from who you are now, who you have always been, instead of acting from who you want to be and making decisions from who you want to be. And it really, really stunts your growth because you don't take actions of who you want to be. You're taking the actions of who you've always been, and then you get what you've always gotten, and things stay fixed. And I've seen a lot of comments in the chat over these last few days about not feeling maybe worthy of going after your singing in a bigger way, of being scared of taking the leap. A lot of you resonated when Amy was talking about that the other day, when she was talking about her journey with that. And this shows up, guys, in your technique. Yes, in your technique, it shows up big time. For example, like let's take the example of opening up your high voice. I know that's something that a lot of you are wanting to do, opening up in the transition, even in passaggio, and getting from middle to high, right? So if you're having trouble with that, you have to work on getting opposition to work in your body to do that. But if you have a fixed mindset, then high notes are hard, or transition between registers is hard, or passaggio is hard. It's always been hard. Other people can do it. Other people can sing up in their high belt. Other people can get high into their head voice. Other people can have a smooth mix or smooth transition, but that's hard for me. That's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been. And you know what, guys? That's fixed mindset. It's the way it is. It's the way it's always been. And where most of you go is it's the way it's always going to be. I can try this, I can try that. And then all the excuses come in, which is why it's always going to be that way, because I've never had this, or I don't have enough for that, or blah, blah, blah. Fixed mindset. It's the way it is. It's the way it's always been, and it's the way it's going to be. You want something different, but what you believe you're worth and what you believe is possible has set up a giant resistance to that which you want, which makes you believe that what you want is nearly impossible to actualize. Even though you want to open up your high voice, even though you want to release a record, even though you want to invest in our training program, even though you want to have a great high mix, your body will not go as far as you need it to go. For example, in the technique example of it's not going to go as far as you need it to go in your opposition, because the resistance of that fixed mindset and the resistance that that creates in your body is just way too powerful. You are singing from who you've always been instead of who you want to be, who you could be in that moment. Guys, who you've always been doesn't believe you're worth it, doesn't believe it's possible, doesn't believe you can do it. So you will self-protect from having to experience the failure. Your body will not go for the full opposition it needs. And then the high voice, the passaggio, whatever the technique issue is, will always stay stuck. It will always stay the way that it is. But when you've cultivated growth mindset, you step into who you want to be, which is fearless, curious, brave. Fill in the blank, guys. Tell me on the chat, who do you want to be in your singing journey? Who do you want to be on stage when you go into that audition? Put it into the chat. I want to know. Let's go. Come on, guys. This is the place where we get to be rigorously honest and claim the things that we otherwise keep hidden. So I'm looking, I'm seeing. Nunzio, he wants to be Caruso. Okay, so Nunzio, what are the traits of Caruso? Myrna, you say you want to be Lucy Thomas. Okay, what are the traits of Lucy Thomas? Okay, these are the things that you get to be. So I don't want to know who you want to be as a person. I want to know what are the traits that that person embodies. That's who you want to be. That's who you get to be. Streisand doesn't give a crap what anybody thinks. You don't think that I'm traditionally beautiful? I'm going to prove that it doesn't matter and that I really am beautiful. Funny girl, right? Like, what are those traits? Brave, fearless, owning everything that they are. Put those traits into the chat. Who do you want to be? Yes, Chris is saying confident, consistent. Diane, fearless. Yes, Jennifer, strong. Yeah, Marie, I know you want to be Reba, but I know you know who she is. What are those things about her that you get to step into? That's what I want to see in the chat. I don't want to see a name. I want to see the energy. I want the traits. Yes, passionate. Absolutely, Cello. Yes. Okay, you guys. So when you have cultivated a growth mindset, you get to step into who you want to be. That curiosity, that fearlessness, that confidence, that energy, that strength, okay? And then the actions that you take are coming from that place. When you sing, your body responds to that version of you and become 10 times easier then for you to go as far as you need to go in your techniques so that it works, so that things like the opposition, the breath support, all of that works. And then whatever you're trying to create with your technique, high notes, passaggio, low notes, breath, it doesn't matter. It becomes easy. because your body's working for you instead of against you, because your mind is no longer sabotaging it. So growth mindset, guys, get this. It's all about taking contrary action. It's all about going towards the thing that scares you. If the voice in your head is screaming at you, danger, danger, don't go there, don't do this, danger, that's your inner critic. That is not the voice of your growth. That is your inner critic, and it is just trying to protect you. And in doing so, it will continue to keep you small and always drown out the other voice, that voice of who you could be, which is the voice of your awareness. So if inside your head, if it's screaming at you guys, it is not your awareness. It is your fear, your inner critic. Your awareness, it's that small voice of knowing. It's that little voice. You guys know that voice? It's that small voice. Fixed mindset doesn't listen to it. It wants to drown it out. It listens to the loud voice of fear, which is always trying to drown that small voice out, which is always going to keep you small and keep you on the bench. But growth mindset knows who you want to be and listens to that small voice of your awareness, because that voice of your awareness is who you want to be already. Most of you just don't listen to it. So the way to get over the biggest hurdle from fixed mindset to growth mindset is to listen to your awareness. Listen to the little voice. That's why we do the meditations first thing in module 1, is because it reinforces and conditions a practice of listening to your awareness instead of listening to the cacophony of your monkey mind and the fear and the inner critic and all that stuff, okay? So growth mindset listens to your awareness, takes action from your awareness. It knows who you wants to be and is continually trying to nudge you in that direction. Do not ignore it anymore. Pay attention to it and take action from it. Go towards that little voice. Go towards the thing that scares you. You get to be a little scared and do it anyway, whatever it is. Even something like investing in yourself to work in our program, that can be really scary for some of you. Investing $7K, putting it on a credit card, that might be more money than you have ever invested in yourself ever in your life. And if that feels aligned for you to be in here with us, you get to be scared and do it anyway. Because what's scarier? Investing $7K so that you can finally break through the blocks and break through and succeed in your singing for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of your life, so that you get to look back and say, I did that. I fought for my gifts when I was scared. Or is it scarier looking back a year from now, God forbid 5 years from now, and you're in the exact same place with the exact same frustrations 5 years from now, 10 years from now, with the exact same sadnesses, bitterness, even shame of having a gift that you're wasting and not living at the highest level? What's scarier? You guys, regret is the most costly thing in the world, which is why getting over this hurdle of fixed mindset into growth mindset is so very important. Growth mindset requires you to go beyond your comfort zone. Everything that you want, guys, that I want, this is true for every human, everything that we want is just on the other side of your comfort zone. That's how we grow. Think about it. It's called growing pains for a reason. It's not always easy or comfortable to grow. We're scared because we want certainty of an outcome. But your awareness will never lead you astray. It won't. If you listen to it, it's ignoring it that gets us into these negative feedback loops where we feel stuck playing small and not living our gifts. So aligning with your awareness means no regrets. Listen to your awareness, guys. Take action from your awareness. It knows who you want to be. It is continually trying to push you in that direction. Don't ignore it anymore. Pay attention to it and take action from it. Okay? So I want to ask you guys, I'm just looking and seeing in the chat what you guys are putting here. Yes. Oh, Amy's saying I fought for my gift. Yeah, you guys, this is sometimes something when you really are up to something and you know that you're being called to something and it's not where you are yet. And yet, you know, there's a gap between where you are and where you want to go, and you haven't been able to figure it out. Sometimes it requires standing up and fighting for what you want against what everybody else may be telling you, against what may be, quote, reasonable. There's a famous quote that I love, which is Will Smith. Don't quote me, don't kill me for quoting Will Smith. But, okay, wait, let me get this right. The surest path to mediocrity is being reasonable. I heard that and I was like, truth. Ain't that the freaking truth? Okay. So I say all this because I know that sometimes we fight with ourselves. We fight with ourselves between what's, reasonable, what's the other word for reasonable? Practical. I think maybe that's the quote. The surest path to mediocrity is being practical or being reasonable, something like that, And like that's just our fear talking. I mean, how many of you were told by people in your life who, it's parents or a spouse or whatever, oh, it's not practical. It's not, reasonable to build a life in music, to build a life in the arts, to sing for a career. That's not practical. I mean, I definitely heard that in my life. Luckily, in my case, not from my parents per se, but definitely from teachers at school, in high school, when we were applying to colleges. You sure you want to apply to conservatory? Maybe you should apply someplace where you could get, a double degree. What are they saying? They're saying doubt, 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 fear, fear, fear. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I appreciate this, guys. I really do. Yeah, some of you are saying, yeah, Kathy and CeeLo, yeah, absolutely. And so we have to learn how to show up for ourselves no matter what, no matter what. And that's another difference between fixed mindset and growth mindset, which is fixed mindset is aligning oftentimes with all the things that you've been conditioned versus aligning with the inner knowing that knows what's practical, who's practical. Is it more practical for me to stay at a job that I hate, doing something that it makes me bored out of my mind, that doesn't make use out of my gifts? Is it more practical to do that, or to actually spend time and energy and money going after the thing that lights me up and getting the help that I need to do that so that I have the best shot at succeeding, whether it's making a record, doing your training, going out for auditions, doesn't matter, Maybe mom doesn't think it's practical. And guess what? Did mom sit down on her dreams too? Probably, right? So I have a special guest today, another guest who can really speak to this, probably better than anyone that I have worked with in this program. And the experience that standing up and fighting for the life she wants, fighting for the performances, the gift, the voice, the experience that she gets to have on stage, the fighting for who she gets to be more than anybody else that I know, and claiming the life that she wants from it. She's a multi-talented singer, actress. Please welcome Taylor Peters. Yay! Everybody say hi to Taylor. Give her a big hello. Hey. So let me just tell you that the woman that you're meeting here on this Zoom bears zero resemblance to the woman that I met when she first came to work with us in the intensive program. So Taylor, I would love if you could just share with everyone who that was and what was going on in your voice, in your singing career, in your life at that point, and how you were feeling about all of it.
Yeah. I God, it's so weird to think back to that person now. Like, and that feels weird to say, but it's such a distant past. And it's just I love that I can say that. It's so exciting that I can say that. Um, I was I was stuck. I'm seeing a lot of comments in the comment section about parents and moms, and I definitely have one of those moms who like, I don't even have an inner critic voice. It's just my mom's voice. Like that's all it is. um, so grew up with that very, very critical voice. Nothing I did was good enough. Nothing I did was right. I wasn't intelligent enough. I was too young, too naive. I hadn't experienced all of the, hardcore stuff that she'd experienced. And then after that, I went to a college program where it was really the wrong college program for me, and it just got me in this mindset of I'm wrong. I'm wrong for this career. I'm wrong in not just career things, but in the person that I am, in how I think, in the opinions I have, the ideas that I have about things, the things that I want versus the things I can do, that I'm just wrong. And vocally, what that got me in was a place of really trying to prove. And I felt so stuck, and I was pushing everything. I was pushing vocally, even though I didn't have to. When I discovered I could sing when I was like 14, probably, it was it was a feeling that I called liquid gold. It just felt like so beautiful and free and good. It was just like a little massage in my voice, and it just felt good to do it. And I didn't particularly know what it sounded like. It just felt really good. And I really, really, really lost that after listening to my mom and after going to this college program. Like, I was stuck, I was pushing, and I was constantly looking outward and trying. Every time I went into audition, I was trying to like decipher the auditioners and figure out what they wanted me to do and what I was supposed to be putting out and what I was supposed to be doing and supposed to be singing like and how I was supposed to be acting and all of this kind of stuff that just got me. I was frozen because I didn't know what direction to go in. I didn't, I literally had no idea. I got up on stage and they said, "Okay, hi, welcome. Who are you? What do you have to offer us?" And I was like, "I don't know. What am I supposed to offer you? What do you want? Like, whatever you want, I'll mimic it. I'll do it." And it was just this awful frozen place where I didn't have any trust in myself. I didn't have trust in my talent anymore. I didn't have trust in my technique. I had learned a bunch of really good technique from really good teachers, and the trust was just gone. I was just, I literally felt frozen. I just felt like I couldn't move, and somebody had to give me permission to be somewhere and to do something, and then I could kind of break out of that mold a little bit and do a little bit of work. But it was just always that critic, always that inner critic that was always just just constantly, and it was frozen,
Hmm.
you know.
And so, what were the most transformative aspects for you of diving in, training 360 in this way,
Yeah.
um, that now and that have allowed you to do what you are doing now? So maybe you could share that first. You could, well, share where you were now, where you are, and the things that really allowed you to move through to completely change your life.
Yeah. The two things that I really took from this and was really able to integrate into my mindset were letting go of judgment and letting go of outcome. And those were two really, really big things because like I said, it was just that constant striving to prove and to figure out what I was supposed to be and try to mimic that. And it wasn't coming from a place of truth, and it was coming from a place of, before I even opened my mouth, I was figuring out all the things that I was doing wrong and all the reasons that I was not as good as the next person in the room. And that I could, like, and letting go of those two things. I'm going to try to separate them out. So letting go of judgment first. The one of the most impactful things that you've said to me is, it's not good, it's not bad, it's both, it's neither. Just getting rid of the judgment of, was that a good sound? Was that a good take? Was that a good acting thing? And you said, no, don't judge it. It's not good, it's not bad, it's both, it's neither. you are, and the I am being a complete sentence. That was a really, really big thing for me. And not I am a singer, not I am bad, I am not good enough, I am an actress, you know, whether you negative or positive sort of identified and aligned it, it doesn't matter if it's negative or positive. Both of those things needed to go out the window. The judgment and the constant just like being from the outside looking in was huge, and that really needed to go away. And once that went away, I was able to build on that with letting go of the outcome of things, of like, you're not, if you're not judging your sound, you're not tied to the outcome of the sound, which means that you can find your sound. And I've worked with a couple coaches who have, that's their claim to fame. They're like, I'm going to help you find your true unique sound. And then I get into a lesson with them and they say, okay, here's what your true unique sound is. And they tell you, and they say, okay, now do this, sing like this, mold your voice just like this, and pull this part out and tuck this part in, and then that's your true voice, you know? And I was like, oh, it is? Okay, I don't feel connected to that, but all right, you know? And with this training, it was just letting go of all of that and finding the technique, not judging it, and only going on what feels right and what feels good. And with letting go of the judgment and letting go of the outcome, I was able to both technique wise get back to that liquid gold feeling that I, you know, call it in my head, and also the acting of it. The acting of the songs has always been a challenge for me. And that's, you know, I was saying actually in class, I think just last week, that I used to just rely on my voice, on my pure vocal talent and technique. And I would not think about my face. I wouldn't think about my acting. I wouldn't think about the connection and the emotion and all this stuff that makes a performance true, because I didn't think I had it. I thought, I don't possess that. I don't have that gift. This is what I have. This in my neck is what I have, and that's it. And it was just like everything was so disconnected, and I was pushing so hard to try to get all that other stuff out that it ended up taking my voice and going and the vocal was just, I mean, I had the technique, but it was just not clicking. It was just not there, and I could not break out of that. And two of the biggest things were letting go of the judgment and letting go of the outcome, and just having the I am as a complete sentence. I don't need to be anything else. I don't need to identify as a singer, as a really good actor, as a really bad actor, but a good singer. Let all of that go. I am. I am here now, and go from there. And it was getting that clean slate that allowed me to kind of go back to the factory settings of when I was 14 in choir class and discovered, oh, this feels good to sing these high pretty notes. Okay, I'm just going to do that, you know? And I wasn't thinking about how people were going to judge me or what I was supposed to feel when I was singing or all this. It got that freedom back, and that just sweet spot, that rich sweet spot that you just feel like, yummy.
And so now what happens? Can you talk about the audition experience that you just went through?
Yeah.
Just about, going into that audition, how you totally went into your head for a minute, what happened after that. So I would love for you to share that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had an audition for Pippin. And when I went into the audition, we had coached it, we had worked it, and I went into the audition, and it was a work in progress, but I kept my mindset, I kept my awareness, I was pretty there, and I got a call back for Catherine, which I was really excited about. I just moved out to Chicago, and this was my first musical theater audition, and I was like, oh, I got a call back for my first one. Yay, this is cool. And then I went into the callback, and I fell completely back into the old mindset, right? And big thing for me, I was able to not beat myself up for this after the callback. I was able to look at it with awareness and go, you fell into the old way of thinking. You fell into the old mindset, and look at what the outcome was. So what the outcome was that I got up there, and I was looking at the people who were auditioning me, and they were sitting down and they were getting their papers together and they were doing all their stuff. And I was like, okay, am I standing on the right X? Are they settled and seated yet? I'm looking over at the piano accompanist, and is he gonna start? Is he mad at me already that I haven't started? Are they gonna get mad at me if I start too soon or too late? If I take a minute to do, to get into my character and whatever, are they gonna be upset with me? And as soon as they sat down and smiled at me and went, okay, hi, I went, hi, go, la, 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 la. And I just didn't, I just did not take the minute and step into it through the new truth. And it was, I sounded fine. My technique showed up, but it was blah. It was, it didn't feel connected. It didn't feel like I had, showed up in the way that I knew I could and in the way that now feels right. And the thing is that that used to feel right, just doing it as fast as I could and getting it out. And yes, I
Well,
hit
it's
my,
the old people pleasing like you were talking about, which is what do you need? What do you want here? What,
yeah,
and the awareness after the fact that I think the biggest celebration here, which I would love for you to talk about, which you probably will, is that is the kind of thing that stopped her from auditioning, that
yeah,
took her out, which is for 2 years why she wasn't doing that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was afraid. I was afraid to go to auditions because I just couldn't. It never felt good. It never felt like I delivered in the audition, what I saw in my head and what I imagined in my head of I'm going to go in, I'm going to be cool, calm, and collected. I'm going to take my moment. I'm going to do all this. As soon as I got in there, it was the people pleasing and it was the worrying about all the external and worrying about is the piano player mad at me? Are the auditioners mad at me? Are they impatient? Am I going to go too soon before they're ready? It was just all of that. And I was able to have that awareness when I got in the car. I went, wow, I did not check in with me at all. I didn't check in with myself. I didn't get into the character. I didn't do any of the work that we had done because I just fell into the old pattern. And that's going to happen in any new pattern, in any new habit. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have, fall off the wagon a little bit and then hop back on, and that's okay. And before, the old me would have gotten in the car and gone, oh no, 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 I did it wrong, and how could I, all of my progress is for naught and I have to start from scratch all over again. And it wasn't that. It was the awareness and it was the not judging it. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was both. It was neither. It was just, that's what happened. I fell into the old way of thinking and look at how it felt. Look at how look at how I showed up. Look at what I presented. Am I happy with it? No. Do I know I can do more with it? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do that next time. You know?
Do you guys see how disconnected from the drama of that she is, right? Yesterday we were talking about data, not drama, right?
I was all about the drama
Yeah.
for so long. So
Mhm.
about drama.
But it held Taylor back, not just from being able to show up in auditions. Was a big major Chicago audition she got a call back for. That you got, I mean, it was probably you and 4 or 5 other girls.
Two others. It
Two
was
others.
three people that got
Okay.
big. Yeah.
So like entire city of, musical theater in Chicago is coming to this equity audition and Taylor shows up and she uses her tools and she gets the call back. Big celebration, you know what I'm saying? But like just to really like put a pin in this for you guys, which is that watching her talk about this now, this is the Taylor 2.0. This is the Taylor who understands how to go to the data and not get sucked into the drama, because however many years ago, it was keeping her from moving to the city she wants to be in. It was keeping her people pleasing all the other people in my life who were telling her that they needed her and their dreams were more important than hers, which she bought, she believed, because it was all the drama, right? And so there's like a natural progression, not just of what happens in the audition, but also of what happens, because how you do one thing, guys, is how you do everything. And so when she learns how to just look at the data, it's neither bad, it's not good, it's both, it's neither, it just is. Look at what is. And now she gets to make a more empowered choice, a more empowered decision, growth mindset instead of fixed mindset. Like, Taylor, can you speak to how the fixed mindset, when you were before you had really shifted and transformed all these things, was keeping you from even taking a shot, even going and doing things?
Yeah. I mean, in this situation, the fixed mindset would have been, I failed. I am a failure. And in this situation, the growth mindset was, I got data. I know what moment to stop and check in with myself for the next audition. In the previous way, I would have been like, I can't go to any more auditions because clearly I suck. Clearly I can't do it. And the fixed mindset before, like I was saying before with the acting stuff, I went to two acting theater schools, not music schools, theater schools, because that's what I needed to work on. I was bad at acting. And I would not go to auditions because I was embarrassed, because I was thinking, I'm just going to force it, I'm going to push it, it's going to go badly anyway, and I'm not a good actor and I can't do it and I can't get connected to all this stuff, and that was my mindset, versus getting rid of the judgment, getting rid of the outcomes, and just being. And I had an experience with that too. I did a straight play with no singing, which was like my worst nightmare. But I did that straight play and approached it with all of this new mindset. This was like a year ago now. And it was actually fun. And I realized I had never had fun acting before. I had always been in the judgment and in the beating myself up and in the trying to decipher everything. And I had never just relaxed and let myself enjoy the process. And that's what, getting out of the fixed mindset. I likened it a while ago to being on a speedboat versus being on a rowboat. A speedboat, you're zooming past everything, you're not listening to the current, you're just going towards your one thing. Versus being on a rowboat, you have your oars, you're in control, you get to kind of decide if you want to go this way or this way, but you're going with the current and you're going, oh, look at that over there. Maybe I'll follow that current. Oh, maybe I'll change direction and follow this current over here. And that to me is the growth mindset versus the speedboat fixed mindset of, no, I'm about the destination. I'm about the outcome. I'm not about the journey and learning and looking at the beautiful scenery on the way and maybe going a different direction than I normally would have, and actually enjoying that experience or learning from that experience. It's all about it's all about that. So for me, that's the growth mindset is, you have your oars, you're in control, but you're also letting, and you're also just going with the flow and allowing yourself to experience life without the judgment and without the outcome.
Right. So I see Kendra's put something into the chat, which I think maybe many of you might be thinking, which is, so how do we do this? So how do we all get unstuck from that? So as somebody who's been through this process, can you give a few examples of how through our process you got unstuck in some of these ways? So maybe it was an example of something that happened in class or something that happened with your mindset coach.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was honestly, a lot of it is putting in, not putting in, keeping consistent and keeping, I guess putting in the time and the investment and continuing even through the tough moments. And there will be moments of, like, a couple weeks where you're like, this is just not sticking, and I'm just, I'm at a plateau, I'm up against a barrier, I can't get through it. And for me, it's just sticking with it, showing up to the classes. And this is the great thing about the class, the setup of this, the group setup of this, is that you get to watch other people have the breakthroughs and you don't have to be in the spotlight all the time. You get to watch these other people having these breakthroughs and silently in the background go, oh, okay. And you apply that to yourself and you apply that to your situation. And to me, that's been really, really helpful in having some of those breakthroughs.
Mm-hmm. And I think to your point about consistency, it's also what I can celebrate about you, Taylor, is that you have consistently shown up coachable, meaning being willing to empty your cup and understand my best thinking is not working, my best ideas about how I'm using my body not working, and just being willing to be coachable and empty your cup and let it be filled up with some new and different ideas. I remember meditating was really hard for you at the beginning. And she got resourceful, and we figured out a way for her to meditate in a way that was kind of non-traditional. It wasn't what everybody else in the program was doing, but coming together and allowing herself to be open to these ideas and do it in a way that might be different, and get the gifts from that, and not just be like, oh well, I can't meditate, and then just throw out the baby with the bathwater. You know what I mean? um but you have, I think, a really big why going on. Right? You have a really big attachment, that's not the right word, a really big vision for what you want for your life. And I know it wasn't living with your parents in California for the rest of your life, working at some other job and wondering what if.
Mhm.
So would you mind sharing why you took the leap to get to do this, have this transformation?
Introvert mind thinking. Um,
Like, let me make it more simple. Why was it an absolute must for you to change?
it was I mean, I wasn't born. I didn't come onto this earth to satisfy other people. We're all individuals. We are all here for ourselves. And yes, we can be supportive to our, loved ones who need support. We of course have relationships and obligations and family, and I had just personally some pretty scary family stuff going on where people really needed me, and it was a matter of life and death sometimes. And I could have sacrificed all of what I wanted, and I could have just lived for somebody else. And I thought, I get to have my dreams and my life too. I get to have my own, I get to pursue what I want to pursue. I am here to pursue the things. I'm not here to be in service of somebody else. I'm here to be in service of me first. And I can extend the service to other people and extend the support to other people. But I mean, I would have been living a half life had I not, you know, invested in myself, taken all these leaps, separated from those people, even though it was tough on them and even though it was hard. And I've said this before about that situation. It's never gonna be the right time, and it's never gonna be easy. It's never gonna be like, yes, okay, they're all perfect and okay, and that situation is handled, and now I get to go and choose me. That's never going to happen. It's no matter what situation you're in, a family situation, a work situation, they're always going to need more from you. And it's a decision between I'm giving 100% of myself to that, or you know what, no one else is going to take this up for me. I'm going to take it up for me. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to do what I feel called to, and what makes me not just happy, but what makes me feel like I am living my purpose and being alive and spending my time on this earth and this one life that we get the way that I want to spend it, and the way that I feel called to spend it, and the way that I feel most at home spending it. And for me, that's really what it is, was go to the place where you feel most at home, and you can still give what you can to those people, still love those people, but you have to do what makes you feel that you are home, that you are doing the work that you want to do. Because you can do the work for them that they definitely get something out of it, but it's not necessarily what you want to be doing. Or you can spend your time doing the work that you want to do and reaching for the goals that you want to reach for. And I just decided that that's it. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to pursue.
Yeah, and I can imagine that that was not comfortable
No,
uh, at the beginning.
no,
And this is, why you will always hear me say that everything you want is just on the other side of your comfort zone.
yeah,
Because it's not easy to rewire these things, guys. a lot of you are where you are with your voice and with your singing, with your career, because of letting life and things and family and financial things and time things and job things and all the things, right? Take you out of prioritizing what actually allows those things to flourish even better.
Mhm.
It's really hard to choose you. And you guys, I know this better than anybody. You guys know I'm a mom. I'm also divorced. I am a single mom. And, yes, my ex-husband kind of does what he can, but for the most part, it's me. And there's mom guilt. My mom guilt is a real thing. So the idea of putting the oxygen mask on yourself first is how we grow. And if you have big goals for how you want to connect to people through your music, through your voice, if you have big goals around how you want to stand on stages and be able to impact large amounts of people, right? That's not about them. With all respect, like my personal opinion is we have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves first to be able to be the highest version of ourselves as a singer, as a performer, as a human, to be able to share that energy. Because music, voice, it's all just energy, like we've been talking about all week. And I know better than anybody that it can be really scary to choose yourself because society wants to convince you that that's selfish. But guys, there is a difference between selfish and self-care.
Mhm.
And continuing to give ourselves away to all the conditioning, all these old limiting beliefs, all the traumas that have happened to us, even spouses who may mean well, but may not totally be on board with what you're doing. You guys, I have never met a spouse who wasn't tickled pink and completely on board when his wife or her husband wasn't doing what they love at the highest level, lit up inside, whether it's professional, making money, doing what they're doing, living the life that they were meant to live. I've never met a single family member, parent, spouse who's been upset at that, but they get scared. Their fear is running them in the same way that your fear has been running you. And the only way that we shift these things is by, like I was saying, put the oxygen mask on you first and go toward the thing that scares you. Go beyond the comfort zone. Yeah. Are you going to be uncomfortable? Yeah. Is it uncomfortable to, like, if you want to come train with us, put 7K on a credit card? That might be hard for you. Is it uncomfortable to tell your husband or your parents that you're committing to your artistic dreams and gifts? Yeah, that can be uncomfortable. And it's also uncomfortable to do nothing, to continue to watch other people on that stage instead of you, to have another birthday go by and you haven't released that record. You tell yourself, this is going to be the year I'm going to go to auditions. Well, guys, it's almost June. How many auditions have you been to? One? None? I don't know. And you guys, I say this not to be mean, but because every single one of you deserves the life that you want through your voice and your singing. We all just need a little help getting past the hurdles to get there. So thank you to Taylor for sharing your story. I think there's so much that we can relate to from it. Big hugs. I'll see you in class this week. And I celebrate her for her tenacity, for her commitment to go beyond her comfort zone, for her accountability, and all of the growth that she's made. But you guys, she was just like you. Seriously, like there's nothing about this. There's nothing about Taylor that she doesn't have inside that every single one of you don't have inside. The only difference is that she has a support and a community and she's invested in the accountability to do it. That's it. And so I want to celebrate you guys who are here, every single one of you who have shown up for this workshop, who've made your singing a priority when it's so easy to go into the excuses and let life and other things get in the way. Life is in session. I always say that. It's always going to be in session. So when is now the time to move on your goals and your dreams? When is now the time? And I'm so impressed by those of you who have been here every day, who have played full out, who have engaged in the comments, who have done the homework. And you guys, you have prioritized now. You're here. And so I honor you for that. And I hope that you honor yourselves for that too. And so, as you know, the discount for enrolling in the intensive, it wraps up tonight. We have a $2,000 discount. Tuition is normally $9,000. It's 10,000. I'm sorry, it's normally 9,000, but we're taking $2,000 off for those of you guys who have been in the workshop. If you take care of your enrollment by tonight or get on a call with me, book a call. So if you have your call later in the week, that discount still applies to you. Okay. So if you want that discount, even if you can't start right away, get on my calendar for a quick discovery call. We'll see if it makes sense for you. And if you book that call today, like I said, even if that call is not till next week, you'll still get the discount if you enroll, but you have to get on my calendar today by the end of the day. So Ashley put the intensive program info there, which has all the different ways that we break down tuition, the different payment plans, all the information about the program. The links to book a 15-minute discovery call. If you have some lingering questions that you have to or want to ask me, if you know this is the right opportunity for you, but you just, want to ask me certain things, or want some help in terms of payment plan or whatever, like understanding everything, get on my call. It's been super amazing to spend all this time with you guys. I want to open it up to questions. So if you guys have a question about anything we've done this week, if you have a question for Taylor, if you have a question about the program, use the raise hand function. I'm happy to answer any questions that you had. Yes, yes, you did miss it, Christy. Yes, you can reschedule. Use the link that Ashley just put in the chat to get back on my phone. So yeah, so opening it up to any last Q&A. Yeah, Marie.
Hi, Arden. I just wanted to ask, I know it's a rolling program, but if we enroll, do we start like this Tuesday? Is
It's
it
totally up to you. It's up to you. So if you wanted to start this Tuesday, you could. If you wanted to start next week, you can. If you have some circumstantial stuff and you want to start in June, then we just do a deposit and you start in June. So you guys can determine your start date. Good question.
okay, thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else? Last questions before we wrap the Vocal Powerhouse Accelerator Be Bulletproof workshop. Are the 3 bonuses taken? Myrna, there's 1 left. So if you want it, take care of your enrollment before the end of the day today. There's 1 left. Okay, so I actually want to speak to what Kendra said in the chat. Too rich for my pocketbook. I get it. I do. And there's a ton of ways to get resourceful for the program. So there's financing, where you would, break it up over 12 months, 36 months, $300, $400 a month over, 12 months, whatever, 24 months, whatever you qualify for. Guys, there are things called crowdfunding. I'm being facetious, but you know about these. GoFundMe, Kickstarter, right? We had a singer who funded 3/4 of her program through a Kickstarter campaign. She raised $5,000 to do it, right? There's always a way for the committed, always. Talk to your family members, maybe a colleague, somebody who believes in you, your siblings, anyone. Ask them if they'd be willing to maybe gift you or loan you the investment to be able to get the help you need so you can have the life that you want with your singing and your career in that. The worst they can say is no. Don't be too proud, guys. Remember, everything you want is the other side of your comfort zone. Might it feel a little uncomfortable to put a Facebook page up that has your GoFundMe campaign and email everybody every day for the next 30 days so that you get that campaign going and you get the funding for it? Yeah, it might be a little uncomfortable, but guess what? What do you have on the other side of that? You have the support, you have the help you need to get the breakthrough so that you get to be on that stage, right? So I fully understand that some of you, there might be financial conditions, and I say this all the time. I don't care if you have $10 in the bank, if you have $1 million in the bank. What I care about is, are you sick and tired of being where you are? And are you willing to do whatever you need to do to get where you want to go? There's personal loans, there's credit cards, there's GoFundMe. There's, I think one of you, I said, go look in your attic, in your basement. What do you have that you could sell on Craigslist or eBay? Guys, I had a singer who was divorced. And she was like, I need to do this. She was a Broadway singer. And she didn't know how she was going to get the investment, but all she knew is that her career was literally fading into the rearview mirror with every single day that she was going to these auditions and not getting cast. So what did she do? She's like, oh my gosh, my old engagement ring is just sitting in my jewelry box. I completely forgot about it. She sold her engagement ring, came into the program. She was touring. You guys, she was touring. She did Waitress. Taylor, you might know her. I don't know if you know Naya. Anyway, like, the, so you guys, there's always a way. So it's just like, put your resourcefulness hat on. And it might take 2 months. It might take 5 months. That's okay. What's 5 months in the scheme of your life when you finally get to do what you want to do because you finally have the skill set to show up to that when you need it, with your voice, with your energy. You know, so while I can appreciate that some of you might have bigger hurdles than others, it's okay. It's just where you are. It's just data. Don't make a story around it. Oh, I've got my credit score is crap. I've got debt up the wazoo. Okay. Does that mean that you don't get to have the life that you want? No, it means that you get to be resourceful to have the life that you want and the voice that you want and be on those big stages. And guess what? The muscle that you build, whether it's having maybe a difficult conversation with your husband to really own up to what you need and what matters to you and how you've been suffering because you don't have it, or have a you know, a conversation with maybe a boss or somebody about carving out time to be able to shift your schedule around. You know, you guys, there's always a way, but it requires us to go beyond what we've been willing to do in the past. Because if we're only ever going to do what we've ever been willing to do, then we will only ever create what we've always gotten. I see Taylor wants to add something to that.
Yeah, just that like it's kind of the same as an all-inclusive vacation. You see this big price tag on it and you go, "Oh my gosh, I can't do that." But then you think about it and you go, "Okay, well what am I getting for that? I'm getting the airfare, I'm getting the travel, I'm getting the hotels booked for me, I'm getting meals, I'm getting all this stuff." And that's the same thing with this program. Like this is not just voice lessons. There is so much in this program that is personal to you, and working with Arden and working with the mindset coaches and everything and the meditations, you don't just get vocal technique, you get past your blocks. And that is a personal thing that you can't get from watching YouTube videos. So
Yeah.
like, you know, like the value, that for me, that's the value of it is yes, the price tag, but look at all, it's all inclusive and it's all tailored. You go to therapy and your therapist doesn't know about singing. Your therapist can't talk to you about singing. You know, you go to a life coach, they don't know about singing. With this, it's all inclusive and it's all tied together. And for me, that was really key, tying all of this mindset stuff to the singing. And so I just wanted to point that out too, that that's what you're getting.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. And I'm actually going to take it a step further, you guys, which is to say that even though practically speaking, yes, there's vocal technique, there's X number of classes a week, there's meditations, there's your mindset coach, even, you know, but honestly, guys, that's not what you're investing in. What you're investing in is results. And this is the most transformative program that, I mean, listen, you don't have to take my word for it. You've heard everybody come on and all of our singers talk about it, you know, in the last few days. What you're investing in is results, not how many classes, not, you know, whether you get your flights and your hotel and your whatever. What you're investing in are results and a proven system and the support and a community that holds you in an accountable container so that you get results. You guys, 100% success rate is important to me. And what that means is, can I guarantee you're going to win a Grammy? Can I guarantee you're going to stand on the stage at the Met? Of course not. But what I can guarantee is that you will walk out of these 4 months with a more consistent voice and mindset, feeling like you are on fire in a different way than you ever have before. What I can guarantee is that if you show up and you playful out, you will transform. And if that's something that's important to you and you're not sure how to piece this thing together, get on my call. I've walked a lot of people. I did this for Amy through different ways of getting resourceful. If you don't have supporters, Kathy, okay, then that's not the route you're going to go, but there might be another route. You know what I mean? And look, you guys, it might not be right now. It might be 6 months from now, but it's about putting balls in motion and not just and not just throwing up your hands and being like, oh, well, it's too expensive for me right now. I guess I can't do it. That's fixed mindset. Instead of, oh, resourcefulness mindset, growth mindset. This is the life that I want. And I know I got some issues with my voice and my performances that are preventing me from doing that. So this is what I want. How am I going to get from here to there? And if it feels most aligned to work with us to do that, then the decision is made. Now it's just, what do I need to do to get there? And if you want our help to do it, get on my phone, guys. I'm not going to be like, oh, you don't have a credit card right now. I'm not talking to you. No, you guys know me better enough right now to know that I'm not going to do that. What's more important to me is that you know you have a path. You have a path to get where you want to go. All right, everybody. I will get off my soapbox now. It's the top of the hour. I'm happy to stay if there's any more questions. Otherwise, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you all during this entire workshop week. Any other questions you can direct to me through email or just hop on, book a discovery call. Yeah, Marie, you have one other question?
I just wanted you to know I signed up.
Marie, I got you. I am not going to let you fail. Okay. I
I'm
got you.
holding you accountable to that.
And Judy, who's going to be your mindset coach. You're going to be in the tribe. Like Amy is going to continue to, I know Amy had to pop off at the quarter hour, but she's going to continue to hold you. Like, we got you. We got you. And
Okay.
and Diane is going to be in class with you because she's our scholarship winner. I see her hand is
Yes,
raised.
yes, yes.
Do you want to add something, Diane?
Let's get better at this, okay? Hi,
Hi.
I'm so thrilled. But what I wanted to say though was I've just been amazed with everybody that's gotten on as a guest speaker. Every single thing they said, I'm like, I've done that. I'm doing that. I'm feeling that. I know exactly. You know, they're speaking to all of us. We're all speaking to each other. I mean, we all are having a lot of the same blockages and self-doubt and paralyzing fear. And by the way, I couldn't sleep last night but that's how it is whenever I've done anything big, like joining a band and like, how am I going to do that? I'm going to get on stage. I'm going to, what? I'm not, blah! No. But then the desire is bigger than the fear. And that's what I just have to keep coming back to. And Arden, you are amazing. I'm so excited. It just the way you have brand new ways of putting things that just it's twanging like crazy. I just know that I'm in the right place at the right time because I was really feeling so disheartened and like I totally stuck, totally, and with me not having all the tools to after leaving my last band, and it was devastating to me, and I'm getting older, and it's really easy to fall into feeling like, I guess I'm done. I guess that's it. I guess that's all that this dream I've had my entire life. No, I can't feel that way. I can't. So I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow
Yes.
and we'll talk more. But I just had to say that. I just think that everybody who has gotten on with you and shared their experiences, and it's all, looks different for everybody, but the same.
Well, and that's the truth, you guys. Like, so my daughter, like, we have a swear jar where if we swear, she makes me, we adults, I have to put $1 in the swear jar. So we have little acronyms for things. So she would say ATTFT, mom, which means ain't that the effing truth, mom. But in truth, guys, I mean, that's why like we work with singers of all genres, opera singers, Broadway singers, pop singers, Reba singers, right? Who like, because, and you guys all think you're so different. And to your point, Diane, you're all dealing with the same stuff, the same crap, the same blocks. And
Yeah, and most of it's here, and that's
yeah,
so evident. And every day that I've been here and watched, that is such a critical piece of it, and it's one of the worst for me. I've loved to sing my whole life, but I've had debilitating stage fright most of my life.
Mm.
It hasn't been, it just in the last few years, I've been able to work through that and be on a stage and just love it and connect with an audience, and I miss that. But anyway.
Well, we're gonna get you back. We're getting you back there.
Okay.
The wheels already turning. The what do they say? The train has already left the station. But in truth, guys, this is the beauty of the group. Okay,
Yeah.
you can't go beyond your comfort zone when all you have is the bubble of your own fear reinforcing you in a one-on-one. And it doesn't matter how good your teacher is. There's nothing else supporting you. And I don't know if you guys have heard this term, egregore, the egregore of a group. What it means is like the collective energy of a group. And it's a huge part of, number one, like why you guys got a lot out of hopefully the workshop that we've done for the last 5 days. The group is a huge part of that. But for all the reasons you were just speaking to, Diane, like you will hear things, you will see things. When you know that you're not alone, all of a sudden it becomes easier to go beyond your comfort zone. It becomes easier to try that new technique thing that I'm giving you in studio class that intellectually you totally understand. You understand it, but your body in that moment is going, nope. It becomes a heck of a lot easier to just like peel that barrier, what I call heart armor, away and experiment. Because you watch your fellows doing that and getting incredible breakthroughs and getting incredible gifts. And so all of a sudden it's like, well, hey, maybe I'll try that. They're no different than me. You know, you guys were so good at being what I call terminally unique. Like, we're the only ones who deal with this. We're the only ones who feel this way. It's no, you don't understand. You don't know what I've been dealing with. You don't know where I come from. And I'm like, I do. And so does everybody else in here in their own way. But we get into that terminally unique fixed mindset. And the group and our community is just what I found the fastest way to break that down. So Myrna, excited for you. She just said, set up her enrollment. You guys, I'm celebrating you for claiming what you want and doing whatever you need to do to get there. I know it's not easy, and we're going to help you every step of the way. All right, guys, I think that wraps it up. So if you have more questions for me, if you're a little unsure, you want to make sure the program is right for you, again, get on my phone. We'll talk for 15 minutes. We'll parse it out. I will let you know if I think that based on your circumstances, this is the right opportunity for you. If it's not, I will point you in a different direction. And you still have access to me in the Facebook group. Like, I go live every Monday. So keep an eye on that, on little topics and other things. And we have other things that we do. Sometimes we'll do like little accountability challenges, like we did this thing a month or so ago called the shower singing challenge, just as ways to kind of gamify things to help you go beyond and do the new thing. Even if you're not in our intensive program, you know, just, I will still love on you in our Facebook group, in the Pro Singer Success Collective Facebook group. You know, you can always find me on YouTube. And so hopefully as your journey continues in any ways that I'm able to serve you, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, everybody? All right. Sending so much love, and I will see you guys in the Facebook group. And those of you who are coming into the program, you'll have an onboarding call with me, and I will see you guys then. Bye, everybody.